Hey, this is Ben. Today's lesson is on the power of intention. Dwayne Dyer talks about this in his book, Power of Intention. And it's pretty powerful to see this in my own life as a simple idea of just changing your focus and how much of an impact it makes. Tony Robbins teaches the same thing, that your focus, your meaning, and your language can change everything in your life. What are you trying to change in your life? The power of higher order questions will help you set a more powerful intention. You don't feel like you're creating the things that you are looking for in life. If you doubt yourself, you don't feel like you're going to the next level. You feel like there's parts of your life that are mediocre. Something isn't working. When you're stuck, you're not connected with a part of yourself. So, the first step into creating a better life is to set a higher intention and ask a higher question. So, Tony Robbins teaches about this concept in this little YouTube video about shifting your focus. And if you do the right thing at the right time, things work out. For example, you're trying to plant seeds and grow a garden. You don't do it in the fall time when it's getting cold. You do it in the springtime when it's starting to warm up and the energy is there to follow the momentum. You don't put the sail up in a bad storm. You put it up when the wind is good and you can catch that wind. You need to work with the wind, with the energy. So, in order to really change your life and create, you need to set a better, higher intention and you need to control your state. How do you control your state? Well, every one of you is controlled by your ritual, your states, these patterns. Rituals are just patterns. And we have three main kinds of patterns: physiology, focus, and language. And so if you change all three of these, it's a lot more effective than changing one of these. So you have your sailboat. How do you change your focus, your language, your physiology? First is your intent. So, what do you intend in your life? I want to feel happier. I want to uh, have an amazing life. I want to look for incredible miracles along all these challenges I have. So, first, learn what season you're in. Before you create an intention, feel, tune into your intuition. That's the same as like looking outside, looking at the weather and saying, like, oh, this looks like spring and I can see the signs in the tree. It's time to plant seeds. If you want to create, you need to know the season you're in. So, the way you learn the season you're in is reflect, step back, observe. Reflect, step back, observe, and feel. And so, as you take control of your conditioning, your focus is controlled by questions. And as you sit there in a moment of peace, ask a question and then ask this question: what is a higher order question? So, you might be thinking, how can my life be amazing? And then you can think of a higher order question: how can I contribute more? Or maybe a higher order question would be, what do I need to be learning in this season of my life? Or how do I get more wind in my sails? So, as you look for a more empowering meaning in your questions, for example, you could ask the question, oh, why is this difficult thing happening to me? Or a more empowering meaning would be, what can I learn from this? What amazing thing can I develop and grow from in this challenge, in this dark moment of my life, in this cave, and come out at the other end of the cave and contribute to someone else's life? What thing, universe, or God, do you want me to learn here? Or maybe, how can this bless someone else's life? Or how can I look at this differently? Okay, so your intent, Brendan Bouchard talks about the principle of releasing tension and setting an end in intention, right? So we get so stuck in our patterns and we get tense in our muscles and our body and the way that we look at things, the way we talk about things, the way that we approach things. We need to let go of some tension for a moment, 5 minutes, and take a break from the world and set a new intention. Now, this is very powerful. Don't underestimate this. Now, why is intention so powerful? Well, the wrong reason. You can do the right thing in the wrong way and it doesn't get the same result. For example, you can plant seeds and you don't really care about them and you don't really care about the food and you don't really care about making your garden grow, but you're like, well, I'm just doing it because someone said, versus you just absolutely want to feed the community or you want to create this beautiful garden that you feel peaceful by, and then you can take your friends there. So, almost any activity can be used as a protection for pain. Why do I mention that? Well, in the tabernacle of Moses, you see here this diagram I have. So here's the altar sacrifice, the laver, and this one right here, this altar of incense or prayer. Think about how the priests would come and they'd pray to connect to God. Now, in the Bible, it talks about people that did not connect to God. They were in it for other reasons, right? To be significant to others or some other reason. And do you ever feel like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling or your meditation isn't even making it outside the room to change your life? It's just stuck with you. And you're like, I feel great. And then you walk out the door and life's the same thing changes. So almost any activity can be used as a protection against your pain. It depends on your intent. For example, meditation can be used as a way to connect with your spiritual source and learn about loving, or it could be a way to bliss out and avoid responsibility for your feelings. There are many people who have meditated for years without improving the quality of their lives because they've used meditation as a way to avoid pain rather than a way to learn. So, this, your intent will change your activities in your life. You show up for your kid and you do something fun with them, but your intent will change the way that the relationship goes. So, it depends on your intent. So, we could use the same activities for purposes that decrease the energy and light or increase the energy and light in people's lives. And so, as I talked about, likewise, you could read the Bible as a way to help open your heart and move into lovingness and desire to learn, or as an anesthetic and addiction and a way to avoid yourself and your fear, right? We could use the Bible to harm other people's feelings and to bring them down and judge them, or we could bring up the spirit and the consciousness of the earth and all of God's children with lovingness and a desire to learn. So, let's say you're trying to make a transformation in your life and you doubt yourself and you feel like your coworkers always have the right answers and you want to feel more confident that you have something to contribute. You want to contribute more in your family's life. Well, how do you contribute more? It starts with creating an intent. And the best intents, I think, aren't just copied, but they also come from within. And so, go learn those things from other people, but then start listening within and feeling and ask yourself, like, what is in my intent to change? How do I want to contribute more? And as you start to learn your intuition and the voice of God within you, it will open up more light for you. And so the moment you have that intention, you have now started on the path of right here of starting from the Holy of Holies, going outward. You're going from a spiritual place out to the world, and you're going to go out and manifest a creation. And that only happens if you have a higher intent, because if you come out with tiny batteries, your flashlight is not going to be very bright. You come out with big batteries, there's so much light and so much you can contribute to the world because you started with the right intent. So every time you're trying to start a creation, ask yourself, what is my intent? And then the second question, if it feels right, is there a higher question I could be asking? And so as you start this process of creating, think about what is your intent and try to go within and listen to your intuition. Listen to the light within you. And I promise you, as you listen to that light and you set an intention, you'll start to realize the creation power you have and that you're a powerful being. So that's all for today's intention lesson. And thanks for watching.